Welcome to Haken, an Animal Crossing podcast, your podcast dedicated to all things Animal Crossing. Episode 142 is brought to you by Wendy Lucio, Isabel Odikbami, and Leto Yeager, some of our newest Patreon patrons. This week, Nina, Sergio, and I are going to reveal the new artwork for Haken in the month of August. We'll also get a story from Nina and discuss the latest features in New Horizons, including the Fireworks Festival and the Dream Suite. So to begin, hello Nina, how are you doing?
I'm doing excellent. How about you?
I'm great. And then Sergio, how are you?
I'm doing pretty nice. I have a confession to make.
Oh. Wait. No, I'll let you do it.
Oh,
What?
Should
Why
I go?
wouldn't you let him?
I don't know. I just thought it was going to be like a trick thing like that last time when he said, I love Animal Crossing.
Look, I live for Sergio confessions. Let him confess whatever
no.
he wants.
I'll let you finish. Go for it.
oh man, I didn't go to see KK on Saturday. I forgot.
Oh, no. Is this your first missed show?
Yes, I remember at 5:40 or so. I said, "Oh, it's almost 6," and then I forgot.
Okay, so last week was my first show that I missed from KK Slider, funny enough. And it was the same kind of deal where I was like, I remembered it all day, like he's sitting at the plaza while you're playing. And then I didn't happen to log in when it turned 6 p.m. All the time after that, I was just like, I don't know what I was doing, but I missed it last week for the first time.
Well, if I can be the multiplier of the group, I've missed 2 weekends now. So don't worry too much, Sergio. It'll be okay.
Fake fans. We're all fake fans.
We are.
Yeah.
But you know, like we say, there's always next week.
There is.
Yeah, and all the weeks after that for the next forever.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. How are you doing in your music collection, Sergio? Because I feel like you did this in New Leaf where you avoided kind of buying his music, right? And you kind of just went and got it from him.
Oh, you know what? I did, but this time I didn't.
Okay.
I just buy whatever. I haven't bought anything new in a while. I feel like I've gotten most of them already.
Yeah, I'm pretty close there. I keep looking through the list and I'm like, what haven't I gotten yet? I feel like I've got practically everything at this point. So now I actually have to like look them up and be like, oh, that's one I'm missing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Well, let's not get too far before we talk about this really awesome new artwork that we got from Molly. And they go by Molly Pukes. And they actually reached out to me. And it's funny because I had already... I was having trouble finding the person who I wanted to do the art for the month. And I was like, where did they disappear from like the face of the planet? And so Molly had just happened to reach out to me. And then I was like... perfect timing because we need something. But they gave us this really great statement on this one, and they said, well, we're finally back in the deep blue. I couldn't resist celebrating the return to the waves by drawing some of my favorite villagers learning how to swim for the first time. There's also a bonus KK Slider and Pascal growing some chill vibes in the background to celebrate KK's birthday later this month.
Yeah.
Man, missing a KK Slider show in his birth month. Sergio, how could you?
I know.
Yeah, actually, I'm looking at my calendar right now to see when it is. It looks like it's on a Sunday, so it'll be a fireworks show. But I wonder if he'll make reference to it the night before.
Oh,
yeah.
I
I'm
hope
hoping
so.
he does.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we have another character here who has a birthday coming up, and it's Leaf this Saturday.
Oh, I would think that Leaf would have like a Earth Day birthday.
That would make sense for sure. Earth Day birthday. I love it. Leaf is timeless, has existed since the Earth has existed.
Oh.
And now that I'm looking at it too, Harv's birthday was just this past Sunday. I didn't go and visit, and now I feel bad. I wonder if anything happened.
I don't
But
know.
yeah, okay. That was a distraction right there. But yeah, this artwork is really great. I really like that this is taking into account that we are getting, we got the swimming this past month, so it was obviously going to work its way into all of these summer pieces for sure.
Hmm.
But seeing these characters taking a swimming lesson, it's adorable. It's so cute.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
Yeah, and I think I don't know I feel like I'm gonna get this sheep wrong. I keep thinking it's Dom, but I think it's another little white sheep. I don't
Is that
remember
not
all of their
Dom? I thought
names.
that was Dom too.
I guess I'm thinking it's
Let me look
Dom.
them up.
It's probably Dom, but I was just wondering because I
Mm.
the inner tube gave me like big puffy sheep shirt vibes, you know how they wear their shirts and it's just like
Yes.
really puffy on their bodies. But I think there's like another little sheep that's kind of got like more of a yellow coloring to it, but this is probably
Oh.
Dom.
I think it is. Let me keep looking. I'm halfway through the list.
Yeah, I mean, not to get too distracted with who it is, but I love just like the really scared little kid
Yes.
expression, where it's just like this is the kid that's been talking about learning to swim all year this summer, and then when it comes down to it, they're just too afraid to jump in.
And then the
you know?
dimples in his chin, like it's just so well done.
Yeah, it's adorable. And then we've got, okay, this is Chrissy, right? Chrissy's the pink little polka dot bunny.
I think so. And
And then
Francine is
Francine, I
blue.
think's the blue one, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So Chrissy, that's really
Mm.
cute. And then their teacher is Rocket here, the superhero gorilla, which I think really works with her personality for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And then we've got a couple of favorites for Sergio and I. Like,
Mhm.
I really like Tabby. And Sergio, you're a big Hazel fan,
Yes.
right?
Me
Yeah.
too, Sergio.
Yeah, they're both really cute, just swimming in the water. And then KK Slider and Pascal, they're gonna be chilling on the beach for sure.
And there's little hermit crabs under the dock. Well, and I love that Cat is holding up that crab, like, look what I
Yeah.
got. And maybe that's what Dom is worried about. I'm not sure, but it's the cutest.
Yeah, that could be it too. And I want to say it's a summer seashell over on the right, like on the
Yeah.
beach, right near the
Yeah,
palm tree,
yeah.
Good
Yeah, those
catch.
blue new shells that we haven't had before. The piece is so cute and it has so much character and I really love the style and personality to it.
It reminds me a little bit of Rocket Power. Did you guys watch that that show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
That's what it
did.
reminds me of.
Yeah. Sergio, yeah, I guess what are you thinking about it?
It's very colorful. Very,
Mhm.
yeah. And I also kind of like the perspective because you can see, the swimming lesson here up front, but in the back you see the museum, you see the
Yeah.
lighthouse, and you can like it forms it goes with the pinhouse, the pinwheel, sort of,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
because you can see the different perspective back there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's funny. I was watching you stream this morning, Nina, too, and you kind of mentioned like you like swimming up the beach a lot more than down, and I agree. Like it just looks
Ah,
better. I feel like you get a better vantage point of like where the diving creatures are popping up from, too.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah,
And I
yeah. So
love
I like.
the palm tree in the foreground too. That really pushes that pin world thing as well. It looks great.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty fun. Yeah, this piece overall really great. Molly Pukes did such a great job with it, and it's just bright, summery. It's a good piece for August. Last time we went with the fireworks. This time, just a nice little summer beach scene for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so social media links for Molly Pukes, as always, are in the description for every episode that their piece is in for the podcast. So you'll be able to find them there. But yeah, just Molly Pukes everywhere. If you search that, you'll be able to find them on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. So yeah, check them out. They've got some really great artwork, really cool like comic book style art as well. So it's really cute. I love it all. Cool. So let's go ahead and move into Nina's story time here. So Nina, I think you've been excited to tell this story since, I don't know, this morning or something?
Yeah, since this
What's going
morning. Yeah,
on?
not a very long time.
Yeah.
Well, I just had mentioned to you guys earlier this week that I was letting Zell move out because he asked to move. And I was going to leave his plot open for someone to move in randomly. Normally, I'll either scan someone in or I'll go searching on islands for somebody. So I hadn't really let this happen in a while or at all. Maybe not at all. Anyways, so I just wanted to see what would happen. And I was really hoping I'd get a villager from like a friend's town. So what happened was yesterday, the plot had the little sold sign on it, which I love, by the way. I think that's the cutest little, it looks like it's been stamped on the green like lettering.
Yeah.
And it said Chatter was moving in, who's another smug villager. I thought that was super interesting that Zell, who's smug, was moving out, and the game replaced him immediately with another smug villager, which made it easy for me because I like to have a balance of everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then had to wait. So, I can't tell right away if he is just a random chatter or if he's a chatter from another island. But then today on stream, I was talking to him and he said he was from an island called Villa Dawn, which didn't ring a bell to me at first. So after I finished my stream, I started looking through my friends list, and luckily the friends list tells you the island names
Yes, that's very
too,
nice.
which I would have been lost if that hadn't have happened, because this chatter is from a friend of a friend, who I haven't visited since March, which I thought was
What?
so strange.
Wow.
So I'm thinking it could either mean one of two things, and I've reached out, but I haven't heard back yet. It could either mean that villagers stay in the void for a very long time. Chatter may have been like from her town since March, may have been in the void from her town since March, or the game holds on to your friends for a very long time because I haven't visited
Oh,
her
gotcha.
since, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I have to wait to see how long ago Chatter moved out. That'll kind of
Hmm.
help us come, to understand this feature a little bit more. And maybe we'll hear back while we're recording. I'll keep you guys updated. But yeah, so I don't know if Chatter moved out a super long time ago or if he moved out recently and the game just remembered I had visited this island. It's strange to me.
Okay. Okay. So you said you visited them back in March, which is pretty much launch week of the
Yeah,
game.
yeah.
That is a long time ago. So I don't imagine, unless they're time traveling and, going ahead that way, I don't imagine they had a villager who had moved out at that point in time. I'm sure
Oh.
they're still in that process of like getting to 10 villagers.
Yeah.
So at that point in the game, I don't think that's a possibility, which makes me feel like this feature works very differently, where the void essentially would only exist in one cartridge of New Leaf, for example. Like if I had a villager move out, they would be on my cartridge and everything, and nobody would really get them unless they were already moved out, and I guess just henceforth like visited with a space open.
Hmm. Hmm.
And so this case is like you are getting possibly a villager that hadn't moved out yet. And it
Yeah.
makes me really wonder how that data is kind of like stored or shared. Like, is it essentially shared on your Switch from that moment on? Like, do you have Chatter's data on your island without you knowing it? And
Oh.
then one day they
Oh.
move out, and that, like, online, it just kind of signals it somehow. I don't know. That's really weird to me.
Yeah, maybe he took that slot, and then it doesn't matter how many other friends I visited who had people move out because Chatter was already in that slot waiting.
Hmm.
I don't know. It's
I,
very
I just
Oh
strange.
man.
I just don't know where the line of communication happens between games if in this case,
Right.
because unless, like I said, unless they were time traveling and they had already moved a villager out back in March, which to me that sounds too early to get to
Yeah,
that point.
yeah. I mean, it might have been the first week of April, but it was super close to the beginning
Yeah.
launch of game.
Yeah, I mean, even then, I want to say it took me a good 2 weeks before I hit that point
Yeah.
where I was probably at max villagers, at least eight. I was probably at eight villagers about 2 weeks into the game because I
Mm-hmm.
think that's when I got like the 3-star rating. I did the whole KK Slider show and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, like 2 weeks into the game, it doesn't seem possible to have a villager moved out already. So
Yeah.
I feel like the
Well,
data is just more alive than it used to be.
though, if I'm remembering correctly, I think she was a time traveler. I feel like she got the
Hmm.
Nook upgrade way before we did.
Mm.
Gotcha.
So that I know that's going to skew our understanding of this software a little bit more. Um, but again, I just want to wait and see what she says about when Chatter moved out.
Yeah. And if she even remembers at this point, because that
Right?
was 4 months ago.
Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be
Yeah.
interesting.
That's amazing. We definitely need to check in on this
I'll keep you
because I
guys
want to know.
updated. Yeah, it's super weird.
Yeah, what if they
Yeah.
said, "Oh, I never had chatter"?
Oh my gosh, and he's just saying he's from a random town? That would be
That'd be
crazy.
that'd be crazy too. Yeah. um,
That
so
would
yeah,
mean
I
the
mean,
villagers are liars.
well, I mean, I do like that they probably have some like backlog of made up islands and things, and maybe
Maybe.
your friend just happens to have a similar island name or the same
Oh,
island name that was already pre-written for a character to say, "Oh, I'm from here," you know.
I
But
don't
even with
know.
that sense, what do you happen to know what their island name was again?
It's called Villa Dawn. 2 words.
Because I would think, being from Nintendo, it would be a reference of
Yeah.
some sort to a Nintendo game, But I can't really think of an
Hmm.
area in any
Mm-mm.
Nintendo game that shares that.
Mm-mm.
So for now, I'm going to assume they had chatter and you
Yeah.
got them.
Yeah.
And my working theory, hypothesis rather, I would say there's probably two voids attached to your game.
Mm-hmm.
There's one that maybe captures a villager from some island that you visited
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
that's just like on hold until you have a space left.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the other that has your villagers that are on hold to go somewhere.
Interesting.
That's my guess.
Yeah.
And it's all invisible.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
just so strange. Well, then we kind of got talking in the chat on my stream about wouldn't it be nice if you could send letters to people who have left and if you could stay in contact with the villagers who've
Yes.
moved away. Yeah, it's just all very interesting.
Yeah. And you mean you got chattering with the
We did.
people?
We got chattering. Hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I agree. I mean, there's obviously some data that left on your island of that character living there. Even when they leave to another place, that gets saved. Like, I went and visited Billy over on Jackie's island, and Billy remembered me. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's magical. I don't know. I really like how those save files happen, but it would be really nice to, just reach out, write them a letter if you miss
Hmm.
them, and, at least have some sort of memory of your villagers that have since passed or gone their separate ways.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's a cool story. I really love it.
Yeah, and like I said, I'll keep you guys updated. It's just part of our growing understanding of this new game.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff we don't know yet.
Yeah.
So it's always cool to get a little insight in it.
Hmm.
Cool. So let's go ahead and hop into the Fireworks Festival. And this is obviously one of the bigger portions of the latest update. We decided to record the podcast a little later than usual, just a day to wait and actually get to experience the Fireworks Festival. So I'll give you a little background on this. But every month in August, or every Sunday in August, we will get a fireworks show. And, some different things happen. Isabella's outside, ready to give you a little gift, and she lets you give her your own custom patterns so they can light up the sky as well. That is something I forgot to try, and we'll do that next week. But there are 4 different head boppers that you can get. People in our server have been calling them head boingies, which is pretty cute.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, they're all really cool. They have different shapes and everything. Quick question. Which one did you both get? I got the heart boppers.
I got the heart as well.
I got the heart too.
Oh, wow. We all got the same one. Well, okay. Here's the other thing I wanted to mention too. You can go to multiple islands and get multiple head boppers every night. So if you didn't get one that you were looking for, maybe you got the same one you got last week, ask a friend. Let them invite you over. You'll be able to get another round and hopefully pull something different. But as far as I know right now, they're random. So we just all happen to get the heart ones, which is
That's
funny.
crazy.
Yeah. So outside of that, Red is also in the plaza there next to Isabel, and he's running a little shop that Crimson and Carmine should be running, but unfortunately they don't exist, which is a real bummer. Nintendo, fix that. Listen to the show. The fans have spoken. But anyways, he's there, and he's selling random raffle tickets for 500 bells each. Not crazy expensive, but if you're like me, it's going to add up after a while. But he's got 12 different prizes. There'll be a bunch of different colored balloons. No bunny balloon, unfortunately. There's a couple different sparklers. There's blue and red. And then there are fireworks that you can set on the floor and kind of light up and let them go crazy. And then they have a random assortment of different things, including bubbles, fans, tweeters, pinwheels, pretty much all the really cool stuff that you can hold and interact with in some way. Even, I don't know if you both got balloons and held them, but if you click A, you do a little bounce.
Yes.
with them.
And the
It's so
character looks
cute.
up at the balloon as you bounce it.
It's
was
adorable.
So cute.
Yeah. So I guess question for you here now: how many of these random raffle tickets did you buy, Sergio? What'd you
I
buy?
bought a lot. I bought probably more than 20.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
me too.
Yeah.
I just kept going. I went crazy with it. And what was cool about it is that like some of these things actually stack on top of each other. Like if you get multiple
Oh.
bubbles, for example, they come in packs of 5, so it does run out. But if you get more bubbles, they'll turn into a pack of 10. And they only go up to 10 because once you get more, it just starts another little pack.
Right.
The sparklers will stack as well. I don't know how high those go, but I did get up to like 7 on the red sparkler, so that was interesting. Tweeters, fans, and pinwheels, those just stay as a single thing, as well as that firework that you put on the ground. I forget what the
Right.
name is specifically for it. I don't know if you both remember.
No.
Yeah, firework, ground
Rocket
firework.
something? Yeah. I don't remember.
Yeah. Anyways, those are all a single item. And funny enough, once that firework that you do put on the ground is out, it just kind of sits there. It's just trash from there.
Yes.
But luckily, Red does have a little trash can next to his booth, so you can just discard them when you're done.
It was
and
very
where does it
thoughtful
go?
of him.
Yeah, yeah. And where does that waste go? Nobody knows because nobody cares about our environment. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's fine. It's just digital.
Hopefully they're all natural fireworks.
Yeah, made out of, just stuff that you can find on the ground.
Bamboo or something, yeah.
Probably dangerous, actually. Cool. So, yeah, I guess I wanted to ask you both, like, how was your experience with the fireworks festival? Nina, do you want to get us started here?
Yeah, I loved that at the beginning if you talk to Isabel before the festival starts, she mentions how she never gets out of resident services
Yeah.
and she's really excited to be outside. I thought that was so sad.
She has literally never been outside. The one time you see her outside is when when she gets hired and she walks up to join Nook to give that announcement, you know?
Oh, she didn't know what she was getting into.
Nope, she didn't know she'd be stuck there the whole time.
But I had a lot of fun. I didn't buy as many red stuff from you as you guys. I bought until I got the Uchiwa fan because I really wanted one of those. I'm planning on spending more time with it like throughout the month. I didn't want to overdo it. But my favorite part about it was just listening to the fireworks. The sound quality was awesome. And my favorite one is like that golden firework that goes off and then it pauses for a second and then like the sparkly things happen, you know, it like crackles and
Yes.
sparkles. That's like
Yeah.
that's my favorite. And the sound, oh my gosh, it was so good.
Yeah, they updated these fireworks big time. Like just the
Yeah.
looks of them, all the different varieties and stuff. Like I remember the New Leaf fireworks and kind of all the other games and everything, and they were not. There's not a lot of variation to them, but just seeing like the ones that crackle and sparkle, and even like, did you see like those ones that came out in the long streams and everything?
Yeah, like the
Yes.
weeping
were-
willow.
Amazing. They look so good. And you're right, the sounds of them, it's just so satisfying. It feels like fireworks are there.
Yeah. And they seemed closer to us than the New Leaf fireworks for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, overall, I had a really good time. The music was great. I enjoyed the atmosphere. I gave like little yukata and kimono to all my villagers so that they would look nice and summery in the plaza too. The only thing I didn't like was that it seems to be nearly a cut and paste of the New Leaf Festival. Not much has changed. So I was kind of hoping for a tiny bit of an upgrade, but it's still one of my favorite like monthly items and festivals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'll say, as far as like the sound design and, the visuals and everything, I'd say that's upgraded, but yeah, you're totally right. Like there's not too much different from what we did in the previous games. It's just kind of still that. It's still a lot of the same.
Yeah. Yeah. Which I mean, like if it's not broke, don't fix it. But but just something new would have maybe been good. Though I do miss in New Leaf you could get better prizes. Like I love getting the bubble wands and all that interactive stuff back, but we could get like that pink telephone that would tell you your fortune, and we could get like the love test machine and a shaved ice and stuff. So I do miss those items.
Yeah. Yeah, there were some different ones. And I guess, we do kind of have the shaved ice machine still in the game, but it's like, it's just something you can buy at the store. It's not like it's a special thing that only came out this one time of year,
But still fun. Still, I don't want to complain too much. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cute. And, I feel like you do get to enjoy your villagers a little bit better. I think I noticed, I don't know, I just noticed they had some special dialogue for it and they seemed very engaged with like what was going on in the plaza, dancing around and looking at the sky and everything.
Yes.
The animations are really nice for this. Yeah. So Sergio, I guess what was your experience with the fireworks?
It was very nice. I got together with a couple of friends from Haken. We kind of had like a little fireworks party. We had some mini games, and yeah, we definitely enjoyed the fireworks and the items we get. We took a lot of photos and videos. Personally, I wasn't too sure if I was gonna like the new music for the fireworks because the one from New Leaf is one of my favorite songs in the whole game, and I do like it. I do like the New Leaf one better, but yeah, this one is okay. It's not. I don't hate it like I thought I would.
Man, going in thinking you were gonna be disappointed, but that's often the recipe to be like, oh yeah, that's great.
Yeah. It was nice. And then, I'm kind of leaving myself open for next or one of the upcoming weekends to sort of enjoying them on my own because I really wanna listen to them on my speakers and like really crank up the volume.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Get a good sound system in there and feel like there are fireworks happening inside your house.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh man, that'd be awesome. Um, potential tip. So when we were all playing together, yeah, we got an item from Isabel, and then when somebody leaves quietly, like somebody's connection drops,
Mm-hmm.
we were able to talk to Isabel, and we each got a new boingy thing. What was the name, Tree?
Oh,
Yeah, we each got a different one. So if you can manage, try to get someone to drop, and you get more items that way.
I'll tell you an easy way to get somebody to silently leave. Accidentally put your Switch into sleep mode. And I say accidentally,
Oh,
but like if anybody visiting puts their Switch into sleep mode, it'll and then turns it on again,
right.
it'll kind of trigger that where just
Interesting.
Ah,
somebody quietly leaves. So I noticed it because Jackie did it on accident one time when we were visiting somebody, and
mhm.
we had to like go and do everything again because it didn't quite save
Right,
what
right.
we had done. um, but yeah, that's a quick and easy way to get some variation there.
That's
Nice.
good to know.
And I went inside resident services. I wanted to see if I sat in front of where Isabel used to be, if Tom Nook would be like, "Hey, I can help you," but no, he doesn't do anything.
Whoa, really?
Oh,
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
And I
that's
also
funny.
wonder if you see the fireworks if you go to like a mystery tour island or to Harp's Island. I want to try that next weekend.
Oh, yeah, good idea.
Yeah, that would be really interesting. I would love to see if you can actually see the fireworks from that mystery
Right.
island as well.
Mm-hmm. That'd be cool if they looked super far away.
Oh,
Man,
yeah.
how
Yeah,
fun. So,
yeah, I'd like
Chewy,
that.
you said you didn't try any of the custom fireworks?
No, I didn't submit any. I kind of forgot. That was I talked to her and then I was like, "Oh, I don't really have anything ready." I guess I could
Mm.
have done like my town flag to see what that would look like, but yeah, I didn't try it out.
Sergio, did you play around with it at all?
No, I want to do that too.
Okay.
One of the upcoming weekends. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to.
Yeah. So, well, what I found was, so I gave them like my flag and just a couple other signs to fill up, the slots that you were given. And
Mm-hmm.
some of them are really hard to see, especially if it's like a really intricate design. So I'm thinking for next week, I may
Ah,
try and make some just like plain bold signs just for fireworks if I have some slots left open. And it seems to work best if you have like a transparent or a black background.
right, right.
But yeah,
Oh,
it was
cool.
tricky.
Yeah, yeah, that's probably good to know and just like have some tips about how it actually works and how it appears just to make it even better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I want to play around with it some more.
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess for me, real quick, my experience was I just thought it was nice. I literally sat by Red getting raffle ticket after raffle ticket, and he just kept giving me items, and I was like, "How are my pockets not full yet?" And that's when I realized things were stacking because eventually I did reach a point where he was like, "Oh, your pockets are full, can't get you anymore." But every raffle ticket's a winner, you know.
Yeah.
um, so yeah, it took a while, but yeah, it was a nice, pleasant surprise to see. Oh, some of these things stack, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, outside of that, I really liked walking around and just seeing all my villagers having a good time and hearing the fireworks. That was definitely a
Yeah.
highlight for sure.
So when you said that the bubbles stack, does that mean the bubble ones eventually run out?
They do.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
you get to blow 5 bubbles from each
Oh,
one, and they stack up to 10. So you'll
okay.
get yeah. I think I have like 20
Whoa.
in my closet right now because I saved a bunch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The one thing I didn't get though was I noticed I didn't get a blue balloon. I think I saw people with blue ones, and I was
Mhm.
like, oh, I just got like red, yellow, and green, and I don't know if there was another color outside of
Pink.
that, but.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, and I got some pink ones too. A lot. I
Oh.
think pink I got the most of. Funny enough. um, But yeah, like I didn't get a single blue balloon, so I guess there's no blue balloons in Haken at all.
They're not allowed.
Nope, not ever.
Oh, nice. I'm
uh,
excited to play around with the items that I didn't get this time, and I'm glad that we get to see it every Sunday.
yeah, yeah, it should be fun, especially those boppers, the head boppers are going to be the item for people to get. So as soon as you notice that you haven't gotten the one that you wanted, yeah, hit people up, go and visit their islands. You can get more than one. And I say that specifically because like we've run into issues with that where like you can't get more than one recipe from Celeste a day, and you can't get more than one piece of art from Red a day, so you actually have to be in different days for a lot of these things. So I was wondering if that would be the same with the head boppers, but luckily enough you can go to multiple islands. I didn't try it out, but I did get it confirmed from other people who did it, so
Nice.
it works.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Cool. So I guess did you both have anything else to say about the fireworks festival before we move into talking about the Dream Suite?
Well, I'm surprised that knowing that Red is involved, that every raffle ticket is a winner. I guess he kind of knows that Isabel and Tom Nook are close by, so he has to play by the rules,
Yeah, that's true. I mean, he's all about giving you a bunch of losers for
Yeah.
sure.
I did see someone on Twitter or in the Discord say, like, when you first get Red, Tom and Isabel go out of their way to say, this is a dangerous person. Do not interact with them. And then all of a sudden, he's in the middle of the plaza, like hanging out during the fireworks festival.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. Everything's all fine all of a sudden when fireworks are involved.
They must have
Yeah,
given him a
that's pretty
good
funny.
talking to. That's why we don't get any duds this time.
Yeah, they probably provided all the prizes. He didn't have to buy any of the stock at all.
And they told him to sell it for only 200 bells, but he's charging
Oh,
500.
yeah.
He looked at the number in a mirror. The 2 showed up as a 5, and that's what happened. Yeah. Cool. Let's go ahead and hop into the Dream Suite and talk about this for a little while. Yeah, I guess I'll give a little background about this as well, but Luna has finally made it to our island. She sends you a little letter after the update, like once you've updated the game, and it includes a special present, which is her bed that, I mean, not like her bed, but like her special designed bed for the Dream Suite. You may recognize it if you played New Leaf, but it's really cool to get that item. That wasn't something I was expecting at all, so I was happy to see that. She also makes a little posts on the bulletin board on your island so you can check out that her services are ready and that you can sleep in any bed inside of your house and trigger that dream sequence. And so once you're there, you can upload your own island. You'll get a dream code for that. You have some options for privacy and that and whatnot. They kind of warn you and say, hey, some of these things that you've answered, they might be a little personal. If they are, change them, or you can just keep them hidden from people, right?
Right.
Outside of that, you can also display your dream code on your passport. So that was really nifty. We got to actually take advantage of that this past weekend when we streamed People's Islands. I checked out their passport and was able to display their dream address for people who wanted to go and visit and get the full experience of their islands themselves, right? And I guess the other thing you can do is you can also visit others. That's going to be the main thing here. You do need a dream address in order to use this feature. So I guess, find some islands that you really like, see if their dream address is around, and then you'll be able to type them in and visit them. The other note I will make here is that, once again, you will need a Nintendo Switch online service to be able to use this feature as well. It's all online, so this is a little bit unfortunate for those players who maybe do not have online at all, and we're hoping that this was going to be a way to visit islands without it, Unfortunately, that's not the case. You're going to gonna have to still get that service in order to use this feature. So you're probably gonna be sticking to YouTube for those
Yeah.
for those town tours. And luckily, there's a lot of people doing them, so you shouldn't have too much of an issue that way. But yeah, outside of that, I did see, I guess, a video where somebody mentioned that this update was kind of the first one that had a feature that was solely for people with Nintendo Switch Online. Like, it's the other updates were like, yeah, you needed an internet connection to get them, obviously. Like, you can't update the game without it, first off. Um, but yeah, I mean, like outside of that, like once you were updated, which was free, you don't need the online service to do that. Like you were pretty good. You were going to get to enjoy all of those features. But this is one that is not available for everybody unless they, get a Nintendo Switch Online thing. And maybe for the next Haken home designer, I'll consider doing that as a prize for everybody.
Ooh,
So
that's a great
Oh.
idea.
just, yeah. I mean, if they need it. If they don't, I guess they can give it to somebody else who needs it. um, but yeah, I guess I wanted to I guess ask you both some questions and get your thoughts on these. But first, have you used the Dream Suite feature yet, Sergio? Have you?
I used it in the sense that I uploaded my island as a dream, and I had some people visit and give me some feedback on Twitter. And I haven't gone to any islands yet. I plan to do so. I'll tell you more in a little bit. But I wanted to ask both of you if you know the answer to this. Do you get Nook Miles for dreaming?
No,
I haven't
no, there aren't.
looked.
There are no done nooks for these features at all, which is weird because you can't actually dig through. And after this update, this was the first one where there really wasn't an update on, I guess, what you could get as far as Nook Miles go. It's still all the same stuff. Like I was still missing all of the same things.
Okay.
So yeah, this one not really no update there.
Oh,
That's
sorry. I also remembered to add to the little top portion. We have you guys noticed that if you go onto your app, your Nintendo Online app, you can go and see your recent dreams and then also how many people have visited your dream.
yes, that's
Yes.
That's
awesome.
awesome.
Yeah, good mention. I totally forgot to mention that too. But yeah, you can see how many people have visited you. You don't see who has visited you,
Right.
which,
Right.
they're not going to do that. They're probably but it's just seeing the number, it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
It's fun to see it go. And I feel bad for the people who visited my place cuz I'm like, my place is really empty right now. Like there's some obvious spots where I've worked on it and done some things, but other than that, like I don't have much going on my island right now. Ever since I destroyed it, it's just like it's been slowly building up.
You're getting there. But
Right,
sorry,
right. Yeah.
Sergio, I totally cut you off. Keep going.
No, it's fine. It's just a little disappointing that you don't get Nook Miles for going on dreams
Yeah.
because that was a badge back in New Leaf. And I know because it was my most neglected one, and I wanted to fix that this
Yeah.
time around.
Yeah, that's true. Man.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. So I guess Nina, have you gotten to use it yet?
I've only uploaded also. I haven't gone yet to visit other people's islands. And I also kind of want to play around and see if you can visit your own island. I think that'd be kind of interesting
Oh.
to make sure like the time of day looks good or you picked up all the sticks or something like that. I definitely want to play around with this a little bit more.
Yeah, I will say this was something you could do in New Leaf. Like you could visit your dream in, or I guess previous dreams that you had. But yeah, I haven't tried it out in this one at all.
Yeah.
I've gone to 2 islands.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, I uploaded mine like both of you. But outside of that, I've gone to 2 islands. One was Denim, who is on Twitter and is actually, they're kind of famous for making more of the old school, like animal tracks pattern that we got from older Animal Crossing games. And so that's where I know them from. Their island's pretty awesome. They have some really cute references in one of their homes. So I recommend it. Maybe I'll try to remember to put their Twitter in there, but they're from Japan, and yeah, like I said, they're just famous for making some pathings that a lot of people are using in their
Oh,
islands.
Yeah.
nice.
And then I went to Jackie's specifically because we wanted to see if we could see her second character on her island as well. So I can confirm that you can. You see both of her playable characters on there. One is of her, and the other is of her sisters. Um, but yeah, it's pretty interesting. It's a little bit creepy actually to like go to another island and then talk to the character, and they just say their whatever their passport comment is, but
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of funny, like they're just like walking around and doing things. It surprised me the first time. I was like, whoa, there's somebody else here. I'm not alone.
I mean, it always has been a little bit creepy to me, especially because, one of the big dream towns in New Leaf was that Ica Horror Village. And I saw
Hmm.
that they have
Yes.
recreated or like updated their town too, so you can still visit Ica Village. But yeah, because they seem so mindless, the little avatar, it is a little bit creepy.
Yeah. Yeah, same kind of thing. So I haven't gone to Ica yet, but I have seen like, oh, this place is updated, and I'm sure it's so much better considering like we can decorate outside the items. There's so much customization around them. There's so much you can do with patterns and things.
Hmm.
So I'm really excited to look at that.
That'll be fun.
But yeah, the other thing I want to mention, I'm not going to say what happens, but just go
Mm.
into Dodo Airlines while you're
Oh,
visiting a dream.
okay.
So that's all
Oh.
I'll say about that. Go to Dodo Airlines, because if you remember, like in New Leaf, there were parts of the town that were locked off whenever you'd visit
Yeah.
as a
Yes.
dream. Like you couldn't really go into the facilities on an island. Like you couldn't go and check and everything. Which now that I think of it, I should have tried going into like the town hall or the resident services and the shops and everything. But I want to say Jackie's shops were already closed when she uploaded, so
Mm.
I'll have to pick another island to do that.
Hmm.
Or she can just upload now and just have this time.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, go into Dodo Airlines. Try going into the different buildings because I don't know if that's possible. But yeah, New Leaf, like you couldn't go into anything. The whole northern portion of the town was completely blocked off. Like the
Hmm.
train tracks were closed. You couldn't cross
Yeah.
them. So yeah, it'd be cool to see what other little quirks that this feature has.
I can't wait
Um,
to play with it. Our Discord has been uploading pictures onto our new channel with the Dream Suite, and I'm so excited. I think it's going to be my way to unwind after work is just to go to a different island.
Yeah, yeah, it's a completely cool experience where, we said it a lot in the beginning when this game came out, but like, there's a lot of coordination involved in getting to go and visit another island, and
Yeah.
now you just don't have to go through
Yeah.
that anymore. Like you can just go. If there's a dream address, it's there. You can visit.
Hmm.
Yeah. So my next question for both of you is, how do you feel about some of the omissions to the feature compared to New Leaf? As an example, you can't go to random towns anymore or even search by town name or player name like you could in New Leaf. So I was just wondering, like, do you feel like that's a big loss, or do you think it doesn't matter just because people were mostly just using dream addresses in the first place? Sergio, I guess I'll have you start because I know, you have a very game development perspective on this when it comes to features missing.
Right, right. And yeah, I was really hoping that this was back, like I said, because I really wanted to sort of highlight this feature because I definitely neglected it big time in New Leaf. So yeah, I was planning to go to a random island every day or to search for one, but yeah, I wanted to go somewhere daily. And now, well, I'm still going to because I heard that you can re-upload your island, your dream, and you don't the dream island address doesn't change.
Hmm.
So what thing you can do, which is what I'm gonna do, is I'm gonna go through Twitter and through Haken and through social media and just collect a bunch of dream islands and then just plug one in every day. Kind of I could randomize it on my own and then just go. They're not gonna be invalid. For the most part, I don't believe they are. So it's a little more work, but yeah, there's still a nice way for me to visit a random island every day. And yeah, I mean, it would be nice if that was in the game, but just the fact that we can dream again, it's nice.
Yeah, and I want to say too that like there are a lot of places that are taking it upon themselves to kind of recreate that feature as closely as possible. So there are people starting to compile dream addresses and everything,
Oh,
and
nice.
making randomizers where it could just throw you a dream code and with kind of no info around it, and you can just put
Oh,
that in and see where you end up.
Cool.
cool.
Yeah, I think there's several apps that are doing it. A lot of them that are, probably pretty well used already. I don't know any specifically because I haven't been using any apps for this game. But yeah, it would be pretty cool
Oh,
to
nice.
take advantage of those and still kind of get that random aspect to it. But
Yes.
it's definitely starting in Haken is gonna be a good spot for you, Sergio.
Yes.
Yeah. Um, Yeah, I guess so. Nina, how do you feel about like some missing features here?
They're not a big deal to me. I never really used the randomizer because when I did, I would always end up on a village that wasn't even developed at all. Like they were
Mm-hmm.
always disappointing to me. So I kind of just stopped using the randomizer after a while. And honestly, I was not a big Dream Suite champion. I was okay that it was gone, that it was just for New Leaf. I never really was huge into it. So the fact that we got it back is fun. But I'm not upset that it has changed or that, it's missing a few things.
Yeah, yeah, and you're totally right. Like I remember going to random islands on the feature too, and it's like you do run into a lot of islands that don't they're just not as far as other players that
Hmm.
you regularly play with.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I would say
Yeah.
like 9 out of 10 times it would be like just trees and houses. Like there was no planning put into the town at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so still, I'm sure there's plenty of places that still need a lot of work as well. A lot of places like mine. So it does help to go to ones that are a little bit more curated for sure.
Yeah, especially if you can find ones that interest you or that are themed to characters or stories that you really like. Um, I think that's going to capture your attention way more.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'll say I'm in the same spot with you. Like initially I was kind of bummed out about it, but then when I thought about it more, I was like, oh, well, I guess the random islands, it was very rare that I'd get like a really good one in New Leaf. And so, yeah, I don't think it's too bad. And then as far as like having like a search function and everything, when you don't have really a database to build that around, I imagine it's a little difficult. So,
Hmm.
yeah, I don't know how if they're gonna add it later on as far as being able to, but for now, I guess I'm not really torn about it being missing anymore.
Hmm.
Cool. So I did want to have one last little discussion with you regarding the Dream Suite, but we've seen a lot of towns with hacked items getting mass reported and that sort of thing, and just some other towns that maybe I don't know. I guess it goes beyond like, oh, the blatantly inappropriate things that should probably get reported with kids playing Animal Crossing as much as they do. But I guess I wanted to get what you both felt about this and just the idea of hacked things in the community and everything. So Sergio, I guess you want to kick us off here.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, I mean, it is complicated. I do get the point, the approach of, it's my game and I'm not, not necessarily sharing these hacked items or they can really do anything with them. But at the end of the day, I'm more on the side that I feel like Nintendo, the developer of the game, is they're doing what they think is the best, not just for their business because they are a business, but they're doing the best for the game, the brand, and the community, most importantly. So yeah, I mean they're gonna do what they need to do, and for the most part, yeah, I agree with that.
Mm.
Yeah. And then Nina, how are you feeling about it?
Um, I am, as always, on the fence. I totally understand that if Nintendo wants to go through and find towns that are hacked, then they can take the time to do that. But the problem with what's going on right now with these towns being reported is that it's being reported by players who seem to be doing it nearly out of spite because the game
Hmm.
isn't being played the way they want it to be played. Um, when, if you have trees with stars on them, it's not hurting your gameplay at all. So I think the way that these towns are being reported is the wrong way for Nintendo to find out about this kind of stuff. And I think that because your dream can get banned with one report, that is hurting the Dream Suite
Hmm.
also because people could just be reporting for no reason. Maybe they don't like someone on Twitter, or maybe they're trying, to troll someone with a lot of followers. So I think Nintendo needs to work more on how they're kind of sussing out reports and looking into hacked items themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I think there is going to be some discretion with these things from Nintendo. I don't think they're going to just ban people willy-nilly, you know? I think for the most part, the fears that I've seen have come from more of the hacking community and
Mm-hmm.
everything. And I guess, I don't know, I will say, um, be careful with that kind of thing,
Yeah.
as far as like hacking things into the game and everything,
Hmm.
because of any company that's going to take that seriously, it's going to be Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they take hacking very seriously in their games. They're incredibly protective of their IP and they do not like people messing with their code at all. Also, like it's viewed very differently in different places. Like Japan is avidly against it. Like they do not like hacking to the extent of like this is something that's illegal in that country. Like you will get in
Oh,
trouble if you do that. So be careful with it, because like these dream islands, like they're not locked to your region at all. Like it could
Mm-hmm.
be players from other places that maybe take it a little bit more seriously, where they're like, oh, you can't actually get that item in the game. We're gonna report it, and the consequences for it can get pretty intense. Like I think you do get a warning the first time, at least as far as what I've seen from people online. The first one is going to be a warning, and then any time after that, like they can take away like all of your Nintendo Switch Online privileges, like anything that is online related at all, like that, even that goes beyond just
man.
playing the in the Dream Suite. Like you
Hmm.
can no longer go and visit people. You can't share like your patterns and
Mm-hmm.
things online. You can't do a lot of things, and this will extend like beyond Animal Crossing too. It'll go into your other games. You can't play Mario Kart online, which I'm
Mm.
sure everybody has and probably likes playing online, So that's going to be taken seriously. So I would recommend, if you're one of those players who likes to do that, don't upload your island. It's going
Mm-hmm.
to be very risky right now. Um, but also like for me personally, like I'm not a person who's going to hack things into a game. For one, I don't know how, and I'm not patient to learn how to do it. So it's not something that I'm going to do. And I'd also wait until like the game's kind of dead in terms of updates. Like older Animal Crossing games, they're not going to get updated anymore. There's not going to be something new in those games. Like this game is still only 4 months, a little over 4 months into its life, and we're still going to be expecting tons of updates. Like Nintendo has already mentioned, there's going to be a fall update.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
the code is going to be changing with this game. There's going to be a lot of new things coming to it. So for me, like I don't really feel like there's much of a need to hack things into it. I know there are items and there's items in the game that I know I want, but you can't get. And I'm actually working on a video about that. um, but yeah, at the same time, there's also like really cool examples of people taking code and kind of manipulating it in cool ways. For example, there's somebody, I don't know how to say their name exactly. Kyler or Siler, I don't know how they pronounce it, but they're working on an English translation of Animal Forest E Plus, which is the last version of the original Animal Crossing game that came out. And that one had some really cool, interesting quirks and everything. But this person is making it like accessible because it only came out in Japan and everything.
Hmm.
And I mean, this is something Nintendo won't approve of us saying or
Right,
anything,
right.
because unfortunately they are very protective of their games and everything. But yeah, in general, like the digital space is just like not an accepted form of preservation by many publishers, and I think that's unfortunate because it's kind of a very it's very reliable to have both physical and digital presences when it comes to preserving history and that sort of thing. So
Yeah, yeah.
I'm on the side of like it's really cool to be able to do that and even like make things that originally couldn't be accessible. Like
Mm.
the Mother 3 community, as much as they complain about not getting that game in English from Nintendo, there is a fan made English translation of the game that is pretty well liked in general. And for those who are, not I guess, there's the people who want to be able to access it and experience it, and it's very cool to preserve that kind of thing, but at the same time, like, it's not something Nintendo's cool with. So, yeah, they're just not going to be cool with you hacking items into things, into the game, especially, I don't know. It's just a different culture.
Hmm.
It's going to be very difficult for that to get accepted in some spaces.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I mean, that was basically what I had to say about the hacking scene in general. I'd
Hmm.
say be careful with it. Definitely don't put your island out there for many people to easily see it and report it.
Hmm.
But outside of that, it's a fun feature. It's really cool to see what people are able to do and everything. So I'm glad it's back.
Yeah. Yeah, and,
Yeah.
and people seem to really be enjoying sharing their islands. And like you said, if you do have a hacked town, maybe just share your code with good friends for now. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, people, I mean, it was sorely missed by lots of fans. So I'm glad that we got it back for those people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's good.
remember, everyone, it's Haken, not Haken.
That's right. It's Haken, not Hacken. Cool. So let's go ahead and close out the show with Haken's Islander Corner. For those of you who don't know, every single week we ask our patrons on Patreon a question and read some of their answers here on the show. This week's question was, how do you feel about the music in New Horizons? So I think we'll go Nina, then Sergio, then me this time around.
Sounds
Okay.
good. So we're going to start with Hyphen Morgan, Animal Crossing New Horizons, who says, I do miss the rainy music box music from the other games. One of my favorites from this game is the 3 a.m. music with the horn feature mocking me for staying up too late. I need to re-listen to this again. I've heard so many people talk about how it sounds like a little goose following you around.
This is by far one of my favorite ones. It's so good. It really reminds me of like the classic soundtrack with its quirkiness for sure.
That's amazing. But yeah, how the rainy music in New Horizons kind of adds almost like a glockenspiel sound to the music instead of like the chimes that I think the other
Hmm.
games kind of added. Um, so it's definitely a different feel when it's raining in New Horizons, but I like it.
Yeah, yeah, it's cool.
Nice. Barry TB said, I'm not a huge fan of the hourly music, and although it bugged me at the start, I like the thought of having the music we had the first couple of weeks for one of the hours. I do miss it when I hear it occasionally, but I really like the change of music for events.
Mm.
It's really refreshing and gets me excited for the day. Yes, definitely agree with that. When there's an event, I feel like they definitely reserve the better music for those events.
Yeah, I
Hmm.
really enjoy the fish and the bug off song, and it plays all day, and I haven't gotten
Yes.
sick of it yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, those are both really fun. And just in general, like it's really nice to get event music because you get kind of used to the soundtrack that you've got, and then all of a sudden something special is happening, and just like the music changing on top of that really makes it feel that much more special too.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. So T with T said, I like the music, but I don't think the hourly tracks sound like Animal Crossing. My favorite soundtrack remains to be Population Growing. I want the rain music to be more noticeable, and I only see these hourly songs working for the summer. My biggest gripe with the hourly music is I can hear the main theme in all of them way too clearly. The holiday music is my favorite so far because they are unique songs instead of reprises of the main theme.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's one thing with the soundtrack. Like this is one that I guess in music you would call it a motif, but it's
Right.
like, just a sound, a reoccurring type of sound or reoccurring set of notes that appear, and they definitely went into that New Horizons motif with this one. So, um, yeah, I mean, I definitely see that. Like you hear it pretty clearly in all of the songs, well, at least most of the songs.
Yes.
You hear
Hmm.
it.
Yeah. Lemmy B says, the music is great to me, especially the holiday music. I do wish that we could have more soundtracks to cycle through because it gets monotonous, but maybe that's a bit too much to ask. All in all, I like it. It's better than New Leafs to me, but still not so good as City Folks. That music just slaps.
I loved your audible gasp right here, Sergio. What are you thinking?
No, I mean I like the one in New Leaf much better, but I mean to each their own.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever heard someone say that City Folk is their favorite music before.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's the same soundtrack as Wild World.
Is it exactly the same? I guess that's true.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
funny that it's typically attributed to Wild World, but,
That's so
City
funny.
Folk, Wild World, pretty much the same.
Okay.
Yeah. Nice. Claire said, I like the hourly music, but the one thing I feel is really missing is the music box versions when it rains. I used to deliberately play Newly for hours when it was raining, and I find it like rainy days much less in this game, solely because we're missing that calming ambience that came from the music. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say with this one, like the difference between the rainy music is so slight that it's actually pretty hard to tell that it's a little bit different.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, there's like not too many instrument changes in that
Right.
version.
Right.
I'm excited
Yeah.
to see how the music changes when it's snowing in this game.
Yes. I'm so ready for snow. Can the summer be over yet?
I'm ready for the summer to
Please?
be over too.
Oh,
Yeah.
we are cold weather people
We are.
here. We need it to be colder. All right, so our last answer is from Kiki Vulcan, and they said, I like the way the hourly music builds up to 5 a.m. If you've been listening to it since 1 a.m., you follow the shifts in mood, with a huge spike in mood shift at 3 a.m. with the wonky theme, but going back to a dreamy theme until dawn breaks. I like the shift at 12 p.m., noon, the most. To me, it represents lunch break or feeling upbeat. 5 p.m. has a similar mood, and I can relate to getting off work and shifting from work mode to fun mode. Otherwise, none of the hourly music really stands out on its own, which is a big difference from how hourly music sounded in New Leaf. I miss those instantly recognizable tracks. I really like how the hourly themes have seasonal variations. Can't wait for winter in Northern Hemisphere so I can feel energetic at noon with snowflake sparkly sounds. Yeah, exactly what we were talking about there, where we're just excited to hear these different variations for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess, I mean, usually I ask both of you this question too. Like, how do you feel about the music in New Horizons, Sergio?
I like it a lot. I do like it, but I don't see myself really remembering as fondly as I remember the music from New Leaf and especially from Population Growing. I feel like I'm gonna recognize it, but it's not gonna be the way I feel about New Leaf, especially. It's like I love those tracks.
Mm.
Yeah. And then Nina, how are you feeling about it?
So I'm not a big fan of the genre that this music is kind of based off of. Japan's kind of going through like a 70s vibe with their music and the popular music right now over there.
Hmm.
And it all kinds sound of jazzy and like too much trumpet for me. So I'm not excited over the songs just because it's not my style. But I don't find myself turning it down or turning it off. It's just kind of in the background and it doesn't bother me. But I guess that's
Hmm.
not bothering me is not positive, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there can be a lot of troublesome things that aren't bothering you.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, for me, I will agree with like the fact that they just kind of keep rotating around that motif. That's like the do 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 do. You know, like a
Yeah.
lot of them kind of have a variation of that kind of sound going on. And I think there's only one track that I feel like it really works, and it's a standout for me because this the soundtrack is very synthy. Like there's a synth that kind of comes in, and it comes like kind of wailing into the song, where it's like.
Yeah, that's the yeah. I don't like that.
Yeah, yeah, and they like a lot of the tracks really rely very heavily on that instrument and everything. But then there's like 3 p.m., which I think gets overlooked because it does play with that motif a lot, but it's like instead of using the synth, they swap over to kind of like some horn. I don't know if it's like a trumpet or like a trombone. I don't know what it is. It's not a trombone. It's probably more like a trumpet or but that one comes in and it just does that variation with this instrument and I'm like, oh, it's just like such a warmer tone that it just feels more pleasing and everything. And I think just in general, they should have gone with that instrument for
Hmm.
that little sound instead. Because this one just kind of like feels like a high pitched wailing thing coming into it. Which it's fine. I think it works for a lot of the tracks, but some of them that are like a little bit more subdued, a little bit more toned down, and just like not noticeably different from some of the other tracks. Like I don't feel it's as necessary, and I wish they kind of would have switched the instrumentation with that for sure.
Yeah, especially since they made such a big deal about like the instruments being played live and everything. It just doesn't sound. It sounds more computerized than having that warmth of real instruments to it. If that makes sense.
Hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and I don't know what kind of tropical areas are like in Japan because I feel like they tend to draw from an area, when they're working on soundtracks for games, especially like Nintendo, like looking into like their soundtracks and everything, they have really cool inspirations for like where their sounds come from and everything. So I'm really wondering where they're drawing this synth from because I'd imagine that it's coming from somewhere. It's being influenced from some place, and I don't know where. I want to know. Whereas overall, like the theme really captures a lot for me. Where it's like it's very acoustic. It's very focused on like these very physical instruments that don't necessarily need amplifiers and things to be loud, And so like you have the ukulele that plays very clearly in the intro, and then just kind of like I don't know if it's like the trumpet or whatever playing for kind of the main melody to the tracks, but there's also like acoustic guitar and everything. So yeah, I just kind of wish they went more in that natural direction with some of these tracks. And you do get flavors of it in a lot of them, but like I don't know, it's a lot more eclectic than I would have thought that they would
Yeah.
have gone. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, overall, I think there's some tracks that are really great in the soundtrack, and others that they're just gonna be overshadowed. But I definitely the standouts for me are funny enough 12 hours away from each other, but I like 3 p.m.
Mm.
and 3 a.m. equally. Like they both like 3 p.m. It's definitely one that's gonna be overlooked, but whenever I hear that one, I'm just like, yeah, they're doing things right with this. Like if this was more of the direction they went with the soundtrack, I think it'd be pretty cool. But even then, like 5 p.m. is a big standout, and it definitely feels like some more electric instruments in that one.
Yeah, I
Right.
think that's the one that I really don't like.
Yeah, I
I
mean that one's moody.
mhm.
Yeah.
I need to, but for as much as I've played this game, I need to go through and listen to the soundtrack on its own, um, because it does just kind of blend into the background for me. So it's hard for me to say, like, oh, I love the 6 o'clock track or whatever. I need to figure out
Right.
which ones I like and which ones I don't like.
Yeah. And even when you listen to it, I'm sure on occasions you'll be like, "What time is this? It
Yeah.
sounds like this time."
hmm
Yeah. Which is unfortunate, I'd say, but it's really just like, they keep playing with that themes motif, and it's a good way to have it integrated, but what was the game that really irked people where they did this? I think it was Yoshi's Crafted World,
Oh.
where it was basically the same song with some different
Oh,
instrumentation
yes,
for
yes.
places, and I was like, there's no way I could listen to this game. Like, I'd have to have something else playing in the background to play this because it's just like repetitive and it goes over and over and over. um, so this game's nearly running into that, but it's Animal Crossing, so I'll give it a pass.
Interesting.
Yeah. Well, thank you all so much for tuning in to this episode of Haken, an Animal Crossing podcast. Don't want the episode to end? Well, you can keep the conversation going by Nintendo switching over to our Discord. Just follow the link in the description, and you can talk with other people who love Animal Crossing as much as you do, including Sergio, Nina, and me. Want to support the show in a bigger way and get your voice heard during the show? Visit patreon.com/ChewiePlaysNintendo. You can support our show with just $1, get special access to a secret room on Discord, join in on the Haken Islander Corner, and even read a monthly newsletter covering all things Haken and Chewie Plays. We really appreciate the support and put your money towards some great things on the show. Tuned in on YouTube, the comments are a great place to let us know your answers to the Haken Islander Corner. How do you feel about the music in New Horizons? If you dig what you hear, please KK slide over to that review section on your platform of choice. Let people know what they're missing out on. Haken is Wild Production, brought to you by Chewie, Sergio, Nina, and all of our patrons. We thank you for listening, and we hope you have a great week.
Goodbye, everybody.
See you all next time.